And good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the post-game show, Steeler Post-Game. My name is Ralph Williams. Coming up is Bubba Brewer, Steve Spates, and Shane, and if I can pronounce your name right, STADMILLER. Is that right? Ah, perfect. And by phone, I have SMOKIN Jim FRAZIER. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, Bubba. And real quick, we'll go around the horn here. Bubba, tell us a little about yourself, what shows you have, and things like that.
Well, I'm the host of the Triple B podcast. It's on Spotify and Facebook and YouTube. And my special field correspondent is Shane Stadmiller down there. He's also part of the show, and he has other shows which we'll be talking about. And you can hit subscribe. And every Wednesday nights, I talk black and gold, Steeler football, Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock.
All right. And Shane, we know what shows you have some podcasts too, right?
Yeah, I'm on Bubba's. We do a college pick'em show. It's 20-minute shows, like a shotgun, fast, best 10 college matchups, and we've been on fire the past couple weeks. And then on Tuesdays, starting this week, I'm going to be taking over the helm of the Voice of College Football's West Virginia University channel, and we'll be doing a Big 12. I'll be on the Big 12 channel for Mark Rogers' network. They have 25 college stations. So that'll be happening on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And then Bubba, I'm on his megacast on occasion. So I'm like one of those butterflies that just floats around and goes from different flower to flower.
All right, Steve.
Well, I failed at everything, but I'm still trying. But my cat behind me is a Bengal fan, so there he is right there. But he's okay now. But yeah, I haven't really succeeded at anything anymore, and I thank you, Ralph, for trying to give me life.
You're welcome. Anytime, Steve. You're my old friend from back in the day, and we had some good times then. And it's glad to have you back. SMOKIN Jim FRAZIER by phone, my co-host on Sports Corner. SMOKIN Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Ralph.
That's good. SMOKIN Jim is on Steel City Sports World, and he also is on the Boxing Authorities and Pittsburgh Sports Line as well. So SMOKIN Jim has a lot going on, and so do I, and so does the rest of the panel. But today we're here to talk about this Steeler victory, 16-10. I thought that Mike Tomlin should have threw the red flag on two plays. The first play was on the Johnson touchdown that went into the back end of the end zone. He was out of bounds when he dropped it. So that means he had already made the play. His feet were in bounds. And I don't understand why we didn't throw the red flag on that one. And on the Warren drop that I thought was an incomplete pass, and they ruled it a fumble. And he should have red flagged that one as well. Stupid penalties again, bad officiating, but we pulled through 16-10. I'm not going to sit here and gripe. At least we won the game despite those obstacles. So, and we've had some Deontay dropped the pass or two, slipped, did it again. But you know what? Like I said, we passed to Freiermuth. Wow, who's Pat Freiermuth, man? You know, I gotta give them a round of applause, man. They actually threw down the middle to Pat Freiermuth. They threw to Washington, and he had some great blocks. Guys, what was your thoughts on this game? We'll start with you, Shane, since you're the new guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. We do a pick 'em, Bubba and I and a bunch of fellows, and every time I pick the Steelers to lose, and I do pick them to lose on occasion, they pull it out. So I guess the rest of the season, I just need to pick them to crap the bed, and they'll get into the playoffs and be successful. But here's the thing: it's so frustrating to watch them because there's so many different aspects where they're just a smidge off. It's like ordering a pizza in Korea. It says Pizza Hut, but there's pickles on it. It's not quite right. It's just there's the little things that are just off. And I got so jacked off from them not throwing the flag. I had to watch Christmas Vacation for 5 or 10 minutes on TBS. Okay. Yeah. I can't watch the Steelers. They get me so mad that I have to flick back, or I have to turn the volume the whole way down and mess around on my phone. it's not enjoyable like it was when Ben played, when you felt good about things. You're just waiting for him to, as they used to say in the day, step on their crank. And that's exactly what's going to happen, because you can't have them not throwing the red flag and calling them on this stuff when it gets a little more contested. And, it's just, they're not sharp. That's what I have to say being the new guy.
Well, like I said, Shane, and I've said this many times, and these guys know it, it's better to be lucky than good. And the Steelers are not good, but they get lucky all the time. And today they got lucky again. So, Smokin' Jim, go ahead. What were your thoughts on today's game? We'll get started here.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I would have loafed on a play ever like Johnson did, my college coach would have benched me for a game, and my high school coach would never have put me back in the game the rest of my career. That's inexcusable. I've never seen anybody, walk on the football field like that before and be so nonchalant. It's hard to cheer for this football team. I tell you what, they got enough good players. I thought all around it was one of T.J. Watt's best games. The guy was hustling the whole time. I thought some of the defensive backs made some great plays, got their hands on the ball. I don't know who number 17 is.
Oh, that's
that
Thompson, that Teddy Thompson or whatever his name is.
Yeah. I don't know who he is. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, I'm glad we had him. And I tell you what, man, the offense had it going on, like you said, Ralph. You couldn't have said it no better. The tight ends are always open. Freiermuth, I was scared that he got maybe a concussion on that one play. It was a little helmet to helmet. He went out of the game. But Washington had a nice catch, devastating blocking. And I thought that Najee Harris played a good game, ran the ball very hard.
Yeah, I think the offense, Shane, Smokin' Jim, Bubba, and Steve, I think that the offense overall did a pretty decent job today. And, there were a few sacks that got away, but that happens every game. But I thought the whole offense as a whole probably played better today than ever. Like I said, we were talking before the show. You didn't see any of them stupid jet sweeps and all them nonsensical plays that always cause us to be in the hole. Okay, Bubba, you're up. What was your thoughts on the game?
I actually enjoyed it, but it actually scared me because they need to tighten it up. I do agree with Shane. I also agree with Smokin' Jim. The Steelers, that first pass that Kenny threw the Pat Freiermuth over the middle for 21 yards, set the tempo for me. They were using all their tight ends. Connor, Washington, Freiermuth had a big game. They were running the ball. They just let probably maybe 10 to 13 points out on the field. Now they should have, like we all said, they should have, flagged that touchdown that Dante had.
Yes.
I know Tomlin has a coach or somebody to watch all that to get in his ear. And right there was, 6 points. And that fumble, it could have been 10 points.
A hot dog or something.
Well, I just and look at it this way: total of 421 yards, first time in over 50 games, 22 first downs, almost 38 minutes time of possession without that Canada in less than a week. So if they tighten this up, the rest of the season the only team they has a winning record right now is the Ravens at the end of the year. So every game is going to be a dogfight.
Yes.
I know Dante's got to catch these balls, and I'm not a big Dante supporter, but I do like I do like Pickens, and he had that nice big catch. And this is the best offensive performance of the year, but we didn't score points. But from the 20 to the 20, we were right on today.
Oh yeah, Steve.
Well, I got egg on my face. I didn't think they would win the game. They did. And I want to take my hats off to Najee Harris. He fumbled early in the game. It seemed like that only emboldened him even more to run harder. I want to give him credit because whenever you fumble early in a game where you have a chance possibly to blow a game open early in the game, he did a great job of rebounding back. I love the way that offensive line got off the ball for the running game. And no question, if you get the ball down the field just a few times to your tight ends, and I think running out of a double tight end works, it's amazing all of a sudden passes become a little less difficult to complete, and you run the ball with even more fury. And I think today they're on the doorstep. I didn't think I would say it. I had no faith in them winning this game. Now you've got 2 winnable games. Now we'll see, because these, if there's 7-4, 9-4, probably gets you in.
Yeah, 9-4. I've heard from some of my other media colleagues around town here, they're looking at 10 games. I said at the beginning of the season, 10-7. And I also said 11-6. So we'll see where this goes. Maybe I'm right. And then again, maybe I'm wrong.
I said 12-5.
9-8. We might see another 9-8.
Yeah,
so,
I said 9-8.
Yeah.
I want to apologize to Bubba, because I shit all over the Steelers last week on your show, and you were right. There was a drastic adjustment in the attitude, and the proof was the Najee run. I haven't seen a run that intense since Jerome Bettis against the Chicago Bears in 2005. That was the only game I got to watch that year. But I remember sitting in the chow hall watching Jerome just muscle through people, and that gave me that it took me right back to 2005. And I'll tell you what, if they could harness that and moving forward, just build off of this win, I can forgive the stupid coaching. But that's exactly what it is. It's just I get so frustrated with some of the coaching. They've made some adjustments, and it looks like they're moving in the right direction. They're getting offense. Bubba, you're so right. The stats are proof that they're moving in the right direction. Now let's talk about the quarterback. What do you guys think? I mean, are you still drinking the Kenny Pickett Kool-Aid, or you still think maybe he's been hindered?
Nor do I plan to. But anyway, I got to pay a couple bills here, guys. First Line Consulting Services. We're in their studios here, Studio A here in Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh. 1-877-926-6982. Give them a call today. You need a website, you need to put up, you need it managed, call them. They have the best monthly rates in and around the country. Give them a call. You can't beat their prices. They will also upload all your videos for you, everything in one low monthly price. Call 1-877-926-6982. First Line Consulting Services Studios here. And then they're also at the for Sports Corner and all my other RW Media shows. They are the studio sponsors. Also, I want to talk today about Sleep Pittsburgh and Homestead, 8th Avenue. Sleep Pittsburgh. I tell you what, I needed a mattress. I called up Sleep Pittsburgh. They sold me a memory foam mattress at a low price. And get this, no credit check financing. Give them a call today, 412-462-7858. They also have lift chairs. They also have day beds. They have also futons and much, much more. Give them a call today. That number, 412-462-7858. And that is Sleep Pittsburgh for the best sleep tonight. Also get on their website, sleeppittsburgh.com. All right, guys, let's get back to this. I want to talk about the discipline of the team. We talked off camera about off the air here, about how the discipline of the team, and Smokin' Jim brought up about how, if his coach, he'd be seated for a game. This continues to go on. I think Mike Tomlin treats these people like, it's a free for all. Look at what happened with Juju Smith-Schuster when he was on.
He's been doing that for years, Ralph. He's been doing that.
I know he's been doing it his whole coaching career, and he needs to stop. He's got to start cracking the whip a little bit.
I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think.
Well, I know it won't happen. I know it won't happen, Bubba. I understand that, and I know it won't until he leaves. It's not going to happen, but it needs to happen. He needs to start doing something with some of these guys. All right. I mean, Shooks a chlorophore. He made some kind of a derogatory comment about a coach or did something. And now he's been benched for the entire season. And I'm glad, because he was a bum anyway. So, I mean, in my eyes, we'll go around the horn here. Smokin' Jim, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You can't, you win championships with, you don't have to be a choir boy, but you have to be disciplined in your position. Playing a wide receiver position, you can't have there's certain times where you have to run the route out because You may have to clear out that safety. You may have to clear out the linebacker. It's very important for the quarterback to get his read so he know where to go. You just cannot do some of the things that you see out there on the football field. I think the wide receiver coach has to be fired. He's not getting what he should be getting out of a talented group of receivers. And like you said, Ralph, the head football coach, this is not the first time. There's problems in that locker room for years, and that it has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed by the head coach. I think leadership lacks on the team.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got last year, you had Najee Harris as a captain. He had no business being a captain. This year, you got Pickett being a captain. He has no business being a captain. So you have to, get some leaders, on your football team. And I tell you what, this is going to be a good experience. If they make the playoffs, it's going to be a good experience for the team moving into the offseason.
Okay, Bubba.
Well, and Smokin' Jim, I'm going to piggyback right off of that about having Najee not be a captain. So who would you put in on the offense as a captain then? Because you wouldn't put Kenny, which I agree. I mean, Kenny did have a good game. He had 278 yards today. He was getting rushed a little bit. This is probably his best game passing wise, yards wise. He probably had 2 touchdowns that Dante didn't catch, which cost him, touchdowns. But Smokin' Jim, who would you have? I can't think if it's not Najee, who would you have as a captain on the offense, though, Smokin' Jim?
Smokin' Jim, did you hear that from Bubba?
No.
He said, who would you have as the captains if Najee Harris or Kenny Pickett shouldn't be captains?
Right.
Who would you have?
Well, Allen made the offensive captain Mason Cole. I would not have had a special. I would not have had a special teams captain. I don't believe in that. They never had that before.
Kennebrew's a good player.
Well, you're having somebody that could get cut week by week. You know what I mean? Somebody in your captain should be at least a Pro Bowl level. And defensively, I think they got it right with Hayward and Watt and if Mika Fitzpatrick would have punched Johnson in the mouth, I'd have made him honorary captain.
Well, you know what? Minkus was stepping up, and I'm glad he did that.
Mika's a leader.
I'm glad he stepped up, Steve.
I don't know offensively if anybody is worthy of being the leader. Sometimes maybe you lead by your example and the success on the field, and if that stays consistent, then you become the leader. Right now, we really haven't had anybody that really sticks out. Pickens is just immature. Yeah, guy makes big plays, can't handle, obviously gets frustrated. Deontay, well, Jim said it best. I mean, you might as well have Dracula in charge of a blood bank if you want Deontay Johnson as a captain. Okay. So I don't know if there's any. My cat's upset with the Bengal game still, but I don't know. Is there a rule in the book that you just have to have a quote captain right now? Because I don't see one. Okay, today I nominate Freiermuth. He's the captain for a week. He caught the most passes. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know. I sound like I'm at a Senate confirmation hearing. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, Shane.
Okay, you won't hear me do this very often, but I'm going to defend Mike Tomlin, and I usually give him a rash of shit as much as I can. So listen.
I call mediocre Mike, Shane. So.
Yeah, the standard's the standard, But, okay, so leadership is somewhat learned, okay? And unless you're going to Fort Benning or, learning like Coach K did at West Point, when Tomlin came in, he had a locker room full of experienced leaders. He had, Debo, he had Ben, he had Ward, he had all these guys that everyone looked to for leadership, and they just carried themselves, and you knew that they're leaders, So over the past years, those guys have retired, et cetera, And when Ben was the last bastion of those leaders, he kind of kept the locker room in check. That has never been, and it's just been brewing and brewing, no pun intended, Bubba, but it's
It's
been
okay.
just bubbling over. And now he's at a point where there's a vacuum. There's no leadership, none. They're not getting it from the coaches. The discipline is zero. Going back to Antonio Brown acting up, they tried to handle that in-house, and he was batshit crazy from Burfict knocking him on the noggin. So, Tomlin, he's a product of his environment. In his environment, he was blessed to have leaders on his team. He doesn't have that now. Now, you're getting paid big money. You should be self-aware enough to know, hey, listen, we have this void. It needs to be filled, and I'm not filling it. Get a guy in there like a Byron Leftwich or someone that the players look to for leadership, because these guys are rolling their eyes at the staff, and its proof is the
Shane's breaking up here.
He was doing good. He was doing good.
Yeah, he was.
But
here he goes. He's back now.
You froze there,
he's
Shane.
of his coffee or
Sorry.
whatever in there. That's okay. All right, Bubba.
Well, to go off of what Shane was, I think the offense and the offensive captains and the offensive team was very young. So, I don't know if I'd go with Mason Cole, but maybe Daniels as a captain with his older experience.
James
But
Daniels,
I mean, they probably put Kenny and they put Najee in because that's just the way they are, and hopefully, with this experience now, Kenny, I'm not going to jump off the Kenny bandwagon, like jump off, and get my pitchfork and get ready, because last week everybody wanted to lynch him. It's going to take a little bit. Like this game here, less than 4 days or less than 2 practices without Matt Canada, and look what they did today.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
this could have been going on for the last 30 games, which now I believe it's all 85% Matt Canada and maybe 10% Kenny Pickett. You know what I mean? Just not getting accuracy, and that'll come. I'm just
guys. We have 3 possible major candidates that have cropped up names for offensive coordinator for next year. I had 2, and the third one cropped up today. And I'm going to go around the horn here on these 3 names. Byron Leftwich was seen in town here last Wednesday, leaving town. Rumor has it I have some good sources down at the Steeler offices that Byron was here to talk with the Steelers. All right. He was taking a flight back to Florida on Spirit Airlines. They spotted him at the Spirit Airlines ticket counter. So, he still lives in Florida because he was with Tampa Bay. I also heard Jim Caldwell, who's an chief assistant down there in Carolina, and they're not doing real good right now. And I don't know what the family down there, and I can't remember their name off the top of my head. They're well known at CMU as well. They're from Pittsburgh. Oh gosh, I can't remember their name. Excuse me for that. But anyway, I don't know if that owner is going to tolerate Frank Reich or give him another year. I don't know. They've regressed badly than what they had with Wilkes last year. And I thought they should have hired him as their head coach, but they didn't. And now we have today Cliff Kingsbury's name's cropped up now. He's not he wasn't a good head coach, but I know him as an offensive coordinator, and he's done well, but he hasn't been an offensive coordinator in the pros. He was an offensive coordinator in college. I want to get away from that. I'd rather have Byron Leftwich or Jim Caldwell before I'd have Cliff Kingsbury. All right, let's go around and start. Smokin' Jim, we'll start with you.
I'm not, for this team, I'm not particularly thrilled with Byron Leftwich, because I think this team needs a Sean Payton type of offensive coordinator, a no-nonsense, in-your-face, bench you, you know what I mean? It's his way or the highway. Byron Leftwich is a nice guy. He may be smart. He may have some good plays. But this team is very undisciplined on offense. And if you're not going to get the leadership out of your offensive players, you have to get it out of your coach. I tell you what, I begin looking at the Marine Corps for an offensive coordinator, man, because that's what they need. They need somebody that's going to kick them behind, Sean Payton.
All right, Steve.
I would not hire anybody that knows Mike Tomlin outside the organization. Caldwell, possibly. I want to go for somebody, or even Dorsey. I know that Dorsey got bounced out of Buffalo, but they were still scoring about 26 points a game. You hire guys who have been fired. So, but I would go outside the organization. Again, Leftwich, I'm sure knows the game, or, I'm sure has a good knowledge of the game. I want to go for somebody that doesn't know Mike, that's not afraid to say, no, Mike, that's not the right approach. And I think that's what we need with our assistant coaches, not to be mean or disrespectful or try to take over the team, but runs that unit the way it needs to be run. And if there's a disagreement, you don't have an assistant afraid to stand up. And I don't know if it's the problem now, say, no, this is the best way to go. So I would hire outside the organization. Mainly me, I need the money. I stink.
All right, Bubba.
Well, I'm agreeing with Steve. I wouldn't want anybody from that knows Mike Tomlin. But now these two guys today got 421 yards, and we got some games to go. The Steelers are very, very cheap at getting coaches.
Assistant coaches.
So they sign. If they sign Sullivan, and you know what I mean, and have the same thing, the dynamics that they have the rest of this season. But Byron Leftwich didn't do anything. You know why he did something? Because he had Tom Brady. That's why he did something. Brady was the offensive coordinator. So
unless Matt Canada gets him,
no. So
don't forget too, Bubba. In no defense to Byron, but he was trained by Bruce Arians. He was Bruce Arians' right-hand man.
I understand that, but look, we all know Tom Brady was calling his own plays down there. And Leftwich was just a figurehead, and that's why Bruce went up to the top. Brady. It's Tom Brady. And with Tom Brady, you're winning championships where, I don't know what they're going to do, but if these guys today keep playing and coaching the way they are, knowing the Steelers as I do, they're going to sign these guys at Dollar General prices, and they're going to keep them. And like Smokin' Jim said, they need to fire their receiver coach, and they need a disciplined receiver coach. I know one receiver coach who's a XFL coach. Hines Ward would be great as a receiver coach here. Even though but that's because he's got no nonsense, and he could elevate this receiving core.
Right. Okay, Shane.
You guys have all hit every bullet point I would have hit. I got to give the Steelers credit for bringing in, these names. Never thought that would happen during midseason. I thought Kenny was going to sit there and wither on the vine till the end of the season. The fact that there is just this last game and 6 games with someone other than Matt Canada pulling the strings. I'm very optimistic. Okay. Caldwell is, I think it'd be decent. Leftwich, I wouldn't have a problem with. As far as discipline, I don't know how much discipline you're going to get from offensive coordinator. You're not going to change the atmosphere that Tomlin has, the culture that he has, especially coming in mid-season. So, if you're looking for a leader, it's, you need an offensive coordinator, you need someone to be creative and generate with the talent you have, the skill players you have, put them in the right place, make them successful, with a young quarterback, find what his comfort zone is so that he can see who's open. I didn't see that this week. Last week, it looked like he could only see half the field. This week, he looked like he had better visibility, like he just had it, like you just could see. But I'm happy to hear that Leftwich has come into town, talked to the Steelers. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, for next year, not now.
It makes me happy to be a Steelers fan instead of disgruntled and just complaining and bitching all the time.
Right. Well, here's my plan. I don't care of the 3 who they hire, as long as they bring in Mark Whipple, because Mark Whipple worked with Kenny Pickett at Pitt. Okay. Mark Whipple has an offense that functions like a pro offense, heavy passing game. Narduzzi was pissed at him because he didn't run the ball enough. But you know what? We won games. Who cares if you're not running the ball as long as you win games? And Narduzzi, just like Tomlin, is a narcissist, and he just doesn't like, he doesn't, he runs the same ship like Tomlin, okay? And that's why Narduzzi in the 9 years, well, it'll be 10 next year, that he's been at Pitt, that he's had assistants going in and out because he doesn't get along with his offensive coordinators. And, with that, Sean Watson was a bad choice. Canada, when he was here, he wanted too much money. And then when he wanted to give him the money, he still went to LSU. And then when he offered him the same money to come back, he went to the Steelers. So, I mean, and then the last 2 years was Cignetti. Last year, they got lucky a little bit, with Cignetti's offense. But this year, it hasn't worked at all. And now he's fired. And I think they should, no matter who they hire, they should bring Whipple in as a special assistant and have him work with Kenny Pickett and help out with this. I have no issues with Mike Sullivan. He's worked with Eli Manning. Faulkner, I don't know much about him. The only reason he's here is because he's friends with Matt Canada. He even admitted they break bread together. They still break bread. So, I mean, here we are. That's where we are. And, so.
They conservatively break bread together. They don't totally break it together. Or you're eating with Matt Canada. You only do it half-assed. You don't do it totally, okay? Just remember that, Ralph. It's half break bread.
Yeah, they're eating at Burger King because they get it their way. So, So anyway, all right, let's get going around the horn here. Next week, we play the Arizona Cardinals. We have Kyler Murray back, James Conner back. They're not looking too good in first year with Jonathan Gannon as their head coach. We'll start with you, Shane. What do you think?
I'll tell you what. What a time to play a team like this. They're either gonna look like $1 million and grow from this week, or they're gonna play down to their competition. I wish I had a magic 8-ball. I would tell you exactly what it said, but that's my outlook for this week. I'm still this past game that just ended. I can't believe what I saw. Bubba was right. I'll defer to him.
All right, Smokin' Jim.
Well, I tell you what, man, the schedule really favors the Pittsburgh Steelers. You just got to go in there, man, and get that victory against a team that's in the bottom half of the league. Like you said, they only got a few players, that'll scare you a little bit. The Pittsburgh Steelers should be able to get that victory and move the record to, what would it be, 8-4?
8-4, right? Yeah. No, our media colleagues, some of the big pundits out there are saying that we could win 10 games this year. That could happen. I mean, we have Indianapolis, Seattle. We have another game with Cincinnati, the Ravens at the end of the year. So we have some games here. We're playing New England, who's not doing well at all. But Bill Belichick's always ready for the Steelers, and Tomlin can hardly ever beat them. But we'll see where that goes, Bubba.
Well, I'm taking Pittsburgh all day, every day. I always do. I think they tighten up and score some points next week and get maybe 23. They would have had over 20-some points today. The Arizona Cardinals, they don't have it. They'll shut down Connor. I like Connor. I really do. But they shut down Joe Nixon today. He had 16 yards. 16 yards running the ball.
They did
so
a really good job of the run today.
I was surprised.
Yeah, and that Jake Browning, he had some lucky picks, catches, some deflections.
Yeah. Oh yes,
that was
a lucky one.
That's all it was today. Couple deflections for some big plays for those guys, and then that was it. So next week, hopefully, Fitzpatrick. I don't know if he's coming back. Hopefully, it's pretty soon.
I hope so.
We strengthen up that secondary. Yeah. And like I said before, the only game that we really have is a hard game, is the last game of the season. But we also have to go out to Seattle. We never play good in Seattle. But I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers probably to win 11. They could win 11 games. They could. My 12-5 pick. I took 12-5. I'd be very, very close.
I said 10-7 or 11-6. That's what I said on our Steelers special when I had that on my Sports Corner radio show. All right, Steve.
Well, I'm watching the Steeler bandwagon. I'm thinking about it. I'm not jumping on it yet. Next week's game is the type of game that Mike Tomlin teams lose. However, I'm going to say it. because every time I pick them to win, they lose. But I think 31-14 next week. If there is a blowout game, if there's going to be, this is the game where they put a team away. A win's a win. I'll be happy for the win. This will be great. But 34-14, I think next week, although I'll probably be on here going, I was an idiot, and I'm still watching the Steeler bandwagon. And the Steeler bandwagon actually ran over my foot today, so I got to step back a little bit. But blowout next week.
So 11 a.m. start time in Arizona, 1 p.m. here. All right, guys, thank you for being part of the show. I appreciate it. Everybody, once again, go around the horn. Tell us what you have going on, and Bubba, we'll start with you.
Well, I got the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock where we talk Pittsburgh Steeler football. And then we also, myself, Shane, and Rich Smoke, we talk NFL picks and college picks. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. So Facebook,
don't forget
YouTube,
about
Spotify.
Wrestle Talk on Thursdays.
And Wrestle Talk, yes.
This
Wrestle
week we're
Talk
on Wednesday. So.
Okay.
That's right, brother.
Yeah, brother. Okay.
I want to do Wrestle Talk. I want to do retro. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, Steve, you're invited to come on as a guest. I'll have you come on.
Well, I would like to do, you know what it is? I was thinking of doing a podcast called Steelers 70s. Now, I come from the early days of wrestling. So, you know, Don Leo Jonathan, Mike McCord, Professor Teru Tanaka. So I'm way old. You would, if I was on a wrestling show, it'd be, okay, the super old guys on. These guys are dead. Who cares? I care. It was fun.
Wednesday, we have plenty to talk about. CM Punk is back, and we're going to talk about that on Wednesday and a whole lot more. I got some news for you about Roman Reigns that you're not going to believe, and a whole lot more coming up on Wednesday. We'll be on at 7 p.m. Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. Myself, Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Mark Mancini, and Bubba Brewer. And I tell you what, we have a lot to talk about as well. And I'm working on getting a guest on for Thursday as well. An independent wrestler from Detroit. He's the nephew of a friend of mine who covers Michigan sports and Detroit sports as well. His nephew, and we're going to get him to come on and talk about the independent circuit going on in Michigan. So we'll see how that goes. Shane, tell us what you're up to.
I can be seen with Bubba a couple times a week on the Triple B Experience. We talk pop culture, wrestling, and college and pro sport football. On Tuesdays, I can be seen the voice of college sports. It'd be the West Virginia University channel at 8 o'clock. So tune in.
All right. You know Kevin Kinder?
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was on my college football show that I had. I had a guest on from West Virginia, Penn State, and from Pitt to talk about all three teams the start of the season. Smokin' Jim, go ahead and give your information.
People want to get in touch with me, they can reach me on Instagram at Smokin' Jim Frazier, Facebook, Jim Frazier.
All right, very good, Smokin' Jim. He's also on the Pittsburgh Sports Line show Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on Bethel Park TV with Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Nick Callis, and sometimes Chip Hayner and whoever Al decides to put on. Sometimes he has a mystery guest. And then he's on the Boxing Authorities with Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree, and he's also on Steel City Sports World with Claudia Rosano and Luther Dupree. And he's also on, along with me, he's my co-host on Sports Corner Radio on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM, 1230 AM. Also on their website, beavercountyradio.com. And you can also catch us on rwmedia.org. You'll see the Beaver County Radio emblem, push live, and you can catch our show on there as well. And Facebook and YouTube as well, live on Beaver County Radio's YouTube and Facebook page. Next year, January 2nd, the Year in Sports Review Spectacular, and we start 2 hours, 4 to 6 p.m., starting January. All right, guys, thanks for being on the program. It's been great having you here. We'll see you next week. We're at 20 minutes after the game for the post-game show. Thank you for being on, guys. All righty, and then we'll get them out of here. Smokin' Jim, thank you as well for being on the program. It's great to have you on once again, and we'll talk on Tuesday.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, and thank you. Have a great night. All right, that was all the guys here that were on the show. We got to pay some bills here a little bit, so I want to talk to you today about Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Mata today, 724-201-0500. You need a new furnace. Is your furnace breaking down? Well, call them today. That number, 724-201-0500. Also, they also have radiant floors, humidifier, service contracts, heat pumps, air conditioners for the summertime. Also, snow melt, air cleaners, and UV lighting. Yeah, Juana, we're a little late. You were a little late today, but you caught the tail end of the post-game show. I'm just paying a little bit of bills right now. So, but thank you for tuning in. All right, next, you need to stop today and get your car detailed at P6 Auto Detailing. P6 Auto Detailing in New Kensington. Call them today, 412-965-6578. That is P6 Auto Detailing. Let these professionals detail your car and detail it right and do it right. Okay? That number again, 412-965-6578. P6 Auto Detailing. Are you handicapped as I am? Are you in a wheelchair? Are you looking for a wheelchair that's power and that folds? Well, I have something for you to make your life better. And that life can be better with Fold and Travel Mobility. You know, I know what it's like to be handicapped and in a wheelchair because I am. All right. And I know what you're going through. And I don't want you to go through that again. So give them a call today, 1-877-GOT-FOLD. That's 1-877-GOT-FOLD. And that is Fold and Travel Mobility. They have experts that have been around for 20 years or more that can guide you to the right model chair for you. I just got mine. I got my chair and I'm ready and I'm happy because now I can go out, I can fold it up and I can go to a county fair. I can go somewhere where I don't have, some certain place where I have to go 2 miles just to get to my seat. I can get to it easily with a chair. I don't have to go out and buy a trailer or rent a truck or anything like that, or rent a van to haul myself around and pay more money. Why do that when you can go with foldandtravelmobility.com? Get on their website. They'll chat with you if you don't want to call them or if you don't want to wait online or whatever. Get online with them. Fold and Travel Mobility. They have experts that will chat with you or call them today, 1-877-GOT-FOLD. All right? Don't be sad. Be glad. All right. Bon Journey, tribute band for Bon Jovi, Journey Music. They play all over Western Pennsylvania. December 2, this coming Saturday, they will be at the Lazy Chameleon in Columbus, Powell, Ohio. So go check that out. And December 16th, they're going to be at the Big Bar, not the small bar, the Big Bar up in Erie. So check that out as well. December 16th. December 22nd, they will be back home at Jurgles in Warrendale, right on Brush Creek Road. Head on out there and see Bon Journey. All start times for their shows are at 8 p.m. Hillcrest Farm in Richmond, Ohio. Hillcrest Farm has some of the best ground beef and meat that you will find. It's fresh from the farm. It's not what they call shipped in from some country or somewhere else. It's right there on the farm. And they grow it right there on the farm, and it's there. Okay? So give Hillcrest Farms in Richmond, Ohio a call today. Call Caitlin at 724-346-5442 or 740-632-2894. Caitlin and Taylor, the owners, they're very nice people. Go up and visit them. Take the kids up. Buy a package deal. They have a variety box for $195. They have a roast box. They also have a ground beef box, $95 for 20 pounds of ground beef. Can't beat that. So go, and also you can email them for information at Hillcrest Farms, Ohio at gmail.com or their website. They are shipping now. So if you live in Wyoming or you live in Utah or you live in Texas or you live somewhere in Alaska or something, you can have them shipped to you. Check out their website at www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com and also on Facebook, Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio, 45 minutes from Pittsburgh, right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. No excuse to get out there. Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio. Are you a small business? Are you a business that's hurting? Don't keep crying that you're hurting and don't do anything about it. Are you a business that's sort of in the middle, but you want to be up here? Or you're up here and you want a little more business? Well, I have the opportunity for you. Sponsorship advertising with RW Media. Call today, 412-545-4317. I have 6 month plans. We also have button advertising on the website, and the prices are affordable. You can't beat them. Stop going out there and paying thousands and thousands of dollars for a billboard that you know you can't afford. Quit going out there and getting this expensive advertising with some of these other media companies that are horrible. Deal with RW Media Productions today. All right, you get a radio show. You get four podcasts, and 5 at times. Okay, 5 podcasts, plus you get 2 national shows. Oh, in one package. And if you want button advertising as well, on the website, www.rwmedia.org. Come on, make the decision. Give yourself a great holiday gift of some great advertising with RW Media Productions, and stop feeding the advertising commercial pigs, and fill and come with affordable advertising with RW Media Productions. That number again, 412-545-4317, or email ralphwilliams737@gmail.com, and I'll send you out some information. Sponsorship advertising with RW Media Productions. All right, I'm Ralph Williams. This has been the post-game show. We'll be back next week, next Sunday, right here live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter platforms. And soon we'll be on Spotify. We'll be on iHeartRadio. We'll be on Apple Radio. We'll be on all kinds of different platforms coming up soon, probably the beginning of the year. And I got to tell you what, we're going to be out there, folks. We are out there. All right. So once again, I want to say thank you for being part of the program today. And also, I want to say, don't forget tomorrow night, the way we see it, myself, Ralph Williams, Bill Canada. That's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And then on Tuesday, the radio show, Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM, 12:30 a.m., live on Beaver County Radio's Facebook page, YouTube channel, Sports Corner with myself and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And we'll be taking your call, 724-843-1888, 724-774-1888. And you can also watch live on Beaver County Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and on Beaver County Radio's website, and on www.rwmedia.org. And if you can download the phone app in Google Play, Beaver County Radio's phone app, you can listen on that as well. And tomorrow night I have Rick Moore coming on from Amped Up Sports to talk about the Arizona Cardinals, who the Steelers play next Sunday. And I also have Matt Grubba coming on, and he is going to talk to us today or Tuesday about the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, what happened, how they laid an egg, and he's going to talk to us about how Bob Lilly's Coach of the Year, Defensive Player, and Offensive Player of the Year. Riverhounds came up with a lot of awards this year, but it was just sad that they didn't win the championship. All right. I'm Ralph Williams once again. Oh, and Wednesday night instead of Thursday, 7 p.m., Wrestle Talk, 347-205-9631 is the number to call to listen to the show. What a bunch of stuff we have to talk about. We're going to dissect Survivor Series. We're going to talk about the return of CM Punk, Roman Reigns, information that you're not going to believe. But wait till you hear this and a whole lot more on Wrestle Talk Wednesday, 7 p.m., instead of Thursday this week because of other obligations. So it'll be Wednesday, 7 p.m., Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. And then Friday, instead of 11 a.m., we're on 10:30 a.m., the External Bum podcast. We'll talk about the bums this week in sports. We'll also talk about other sports topics. Ralph Williams, Mark Mancini. It's going to be Scott Morganroth from the South Florida Tribune, JT Toth from draft412.com. All part of the show, the External Bum podcast. And then, or the External Bum show, 347-205-9631, Blog Talk Radio. It's a 30-minute show. You're going to enjoy it. And then Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m., right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, X platforms. Telling it like it is with me, Ralph Williams, and Leo Haggerty every Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. We talk general topics, and then we go into sports. And we have a great time talking about it with myself, Ralph Williams, and Leo Haggerty every Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m., telling it like it is. All right, I'm Ralph Williams. Once again, thank you for watching. Have a great night.